interesting,
Yeah.
almost like she was going to pet an animal or something.
Yeah, right. Instead of just reaching out, like
Right.
expect
She would-
something back.
Yeah.
And another person reached out like this. And she said, well, there's not going to be anybody there. So
It was like such a when you said that, I immediately thought you were asking a question.
Yeah, and in a way that's was. It's like, is anybody going to be there? And so she didn't have the confidence. She got smaller as she tried to, just reach out. And there's all these what we call proximity-seeking actions, like seeking connection, seeking proximity with others. And how we make those actions is very revealing.
And you're not always even aware you're doing it.
Not at all.
We all know someone who says, I go into a crowd and no one ever wants to talk to me.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That's
again.
right.
But it may be simply the way they're standing in the crowd, and they may have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, how do you sort of self-monitor that? How do you...
Well, I think it's awareness and being mindful of your responses and being, I help people become aware of their bodily postures and movements and what they mean to them.
to them, not to somebody else.
Well, first to them.
Yeah.
Like if I had somebody, like you say, who goes into a crowd and says, nobody ever talks to me, I might say, okay, let's imagine that you're in a crowd right now. And just what starts to happen in your body. And they often say things like, well, I'm tightening up, I'm not breathing as deeply, I'm starting to shrink a little bit, and I'm not, I don't feel comfortable. So they become aware of the body stance that they take on. And now we know that lowers your confidence.
Yes.
And yeah. So they become aware of it, and then I might say, well, what if you, imagine being in a crowd in a different stance? What does that bring up? So they start to become aware of how the postures and movements affect them inside, and then we can also work. It's really fun to work with couples and how their body-to-body communication.
Fascinating.
Oh, it's so fun.
I bet they tell you one thing and you read something totally different.
Yeah, and to make them aware of it, it's so interesting. It's so interesting.
Or parents and kids.
Parents and kids, that's right. We work a lot with parents and kids.
Yeah, I always embarrass my daughter because I always talk about it, right? So she's in high school and homework isn't always her favorite thing to do, right?
Right.
And I'll be like, so how's that, chemistry going? And she'll do this little twitch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's there. I'm like, no.
Right. And you're
twitch.
reading the discrepancy between what she says and her body language.
You can't hide that.
Right. I worked with a couple a few weeks ago, and her complaint was that, she says he